Namaskadasyai. My topic is Purandara Dasa mainly, Haridasa's compositions, Purandara Dasa in particular, and the history behind Purandara Dasa and the Bhakti that he has been advocating for. Perhaps I may take time to land on Purandara Dasa, so we may have to just go back to the history of our music, and with that background that our Haridasas started singing of their own in their own accord. We all know about the ancient Shastrakaras, right from Bharata of Natya Shastra until Kallinatha. Some names have been mentioned there. They have all contributed to our Carnatic music, but we do not know how they sang. But all the Shastras are available. If we go through that, their perfection in perfecting our Carnatic music is very well understood, can be understandable from these different books. They just remain theoretical or Shastras. Next. Kallinatha is very important for us. He is a Kannadiga. He switched over to Shadja Grama from our Madhyama Grama kind of singing. Second, he was the one who first introduced the word Carnatic music. And emphasis was given to Lakshana while singing Lakshya. All these Shastra Pramanas were well educated, well presented in Kallinatha, and he is considered to be one of the very important persons because he made Shadja Grama, the Prakriti Swaras, to be highlighted rather than Madhyama Gramas. We come to Trimata Acharyas. Shankara or Ramanujacharya or Madhvacharya. Advaita, Vishistadvaita and Dvaita. The respective years have been also mentioned there. The 8th century, the 11th century and 13th century respectively for these Trimata Acharyas. All these three advocated for Bhakti in their religion or their cult. So whether it is Advaita, Vishistadvaita or Dvaita, Bhakti was the understream in the mainstream as well as understream, which will be very important to reach to the God. Chakradhara of Saurashtra established Mahanubhava Pantha. It is Achyuta Pantha as it is called. It got spread to Maharashtra, Gujarat and North Karnataka. Bhagavata Dharma, Krishna Bhakti started spreading later after this Chakradhara of Saurashtra. We know from Alvars, from 2nd century to 8th century, the Bhakti being spread out, previous. and Nayanmars, 63 Nayanmars of the 7th century, who advocated for Bhakti through Shiva Bhakti or Vishnu Bhakti, as they advocated in their different granthas. In Karnataka, for 12th century, we know about Basavanna, who was the proponent of Shiva Bhakti. He educated the people in his vachanas, which were verses, which could be sung, but whether he sang or not, we do not know. But in one of the vachanas, he says, Bhatti sa ragava paduvenayya. 32 ragas were known to him, perhaps, which were prevalent during his period. Prevalent. Basavanna and a host of many Shiva Sharanas have given us vachanas which advocate for Bhakti once again. But Shiva Bhakti. Jayadeva from Orissa or Bengal, he proposed in his granthas, Gita Govinda, Vishnu Bhakti, in Sringara Bhava, and the Jayadeva poems, Ashtapadis, are sung all through India. Whether it is in Hindustani genre or a Carnatic genre, it is Ashtapadi. Govinda Marar, who is known to us from the Satyatirunal Empire, he was to go to Tyagaraja and render the Ashtapadi, one of the Ashtapadis of Jayadeva in 6 kala, and get so much of appreciation from Tyagaraja by his renderings. So it was in Carnatic genre that he might have sung in front of Tyagaraja, Jayadeva, Govinda Marar. Similarly, many people from the Kathak side have been rendering Jayadeva Ashtapadis. We Carnatic musicians also use Ashtapadis in our own way that we sing. Whatever the raga or talas mentioned there, we have liberty to use for ourselves to render Jayadeva Ashtapadis in our own way. I should first tell here about the Marathi sons who have propagated Vishnu Bhakti all through. And Namadev Simpi of 1270 to 1330 is the first one which we can see here in the list. Janabai, Sant Jnaneshwar, Jnanadev, Ramananda, Kabira, Surdas, Vallabhacharya, and the later ones. They were all post-Purandara periods. Before that, Namadev Simpi was a tailor, Janabai, a household, Sant Jnaneshwar, known to us, Ramananda, they were all propagating Vishnu Bhakti, and Bhakti once again was very much prevalent and was advocated by all these people. Now, in the as a background for all these things, perhaps Alvars, Nayanmars, Marathi sons, Chakradhara, all these with this background, our Haridasas were also very much influenced. And they started their own method of singing Vishnu Bhakti following a particular cult of Madhvacharya. We will go to the Haridasas in particular. When Haridasa's cult started, we do not know. Perhaps Vishnu Bhakti was advocated by some people called Adyas even before Madhvacharya. Some 60 Adyas were there. And one such is from Haiganapura, Achalananda Dasa. Achalananda Dasa he has rendered some kirtanas, 3 or 4 kirtanas are available. But there were 2 Achalananda Dasas of one 7th century and another 13th or 17th century, which we do not know who is the real one. But this Achalananda Dasa comes from Adya history, Adya background. Adyas were singing Kannada songs in praise of Vishnu. Madhvacharya was the first one who started Dvaita philosophy, in contrast with Vishishtadvaita or Advaita. His Khandana and Mandana made the Dvaita philosophy to be proposed. And the first one that he advocates there also is Bhakti. So Madhvacharya's Dvaita philosophy, that Atman and Paramatman are two different and not one and the same, was on the basis of philosophy, Bhakti philosophy, total surrender to God. Total surrender without condition. An unconditioned surrendering to God is Bhakti, which was advocated by Madhvacharya and the post-Madhvacharya singers or followers. Narahari Tirtha was one among the Vijayanagara Empire, 1264 to 1311, was one of the disciples of Madhvacharya, was in Kalinga and from the Ganga dynasty. His father's name was Swami Shastri. He is a direct disciple of Madhvacharya. Narahari Tirtha has composed so many songs, but only 2 or 3 are available. One is Hariye Idu Sariye in Sri Raga. Second one is Yentu Marulade, set in Ananda Bhairavi. We do not know the full script of this. From different sources we have obtained this, not direct from Narahari Tirtha. So, Hariye Idu Sariye is the very popular one written by Narahari Tirtha, direct disciple of Madhvacharya. Perhaps that was the first Kannada composition or Devaranama which we know now as established one. Next we come after about 60 or 67 years later or some years later, Sri Padaraya, even 1 century after. Sri Padaraya was from Mulabagil, Kolar district. He was a Sanskrit scholar. Vagvajra was one of the very important Shastra Granthas on religion, Madhva philosophy, written by him. And he was called by Raghunatha Tirtha as Sripada Raja or Sripada Raya. He was in the Vijayanagar Empire time. Though he wrote Sanskrit verses, slokas, Shastra Granthas, his heart was towards something else. he used to compose songs, perhaps spontaneously, in Kannada and sing and dance in front of the deity. One such occasion in 1450s or 60s, it happens in Mulbagil Mutt, where Sripadaraya was singing in front of the deity. Closed temple, the mutt. He was in trance. He was singing, taking round and round, and singing in Kannada song which he composed. Vyasaraya, 40 years younger to him, he happened to come to Mulbagil Mutt, and he just peeps through the window to see Sripadaraya singing in Kannada and praising the Lord and turning to trance. This was a turning point in Vyasaraya. Vyasaraya is known to be one of the greatest scholars in Sanskrit during the Vijayanagara time. He was the author of some not less than 10 very important Sanskrit granthas. And he was the authority. Everyone would ask Vyasaraya for every clarifications. He established a kuta called Vyasakuta. This Vyasakuta was the organization of scholars, Sanskrit scholars. They held that we can converse with God in Sanskrit. We can go to God through Sanskrit. We have to talk in Sanskrit. All Shastras must be written in Sanskrit. So everything was Sanskritized. And of course, many of the Brahmins only involved in this, and they advocated. And this Vyasakuta was established by Vyasa Tirtha. That Vyasa and this Vyasakuta, Vyasa name, are not one and the same. Vyasakuta Vyasa, that name, that Vyasa is Krishna Dvaipayana or Vyasa, Vedavyasa. In his name, this Vyasakuta was named by Vyasaraya or Vyasa Tirtha. Vyasa Tirtha was a Swamiji. He became Vyasaraya later, which perhaps I will let you know later. So this Vyasa Tirtha thought, he was expecting Sripadaraya to sing in Sanskrit and dancing or whatever that he does. But to his surprise, he sees in Kannada that he was singing a Devaranama and singing and losing himself in front of the deity. He asks Sripadaraja why he has done this. He said, I am dissolved in my local language. If I use Sanskrit language, I come out of that as a Vidvanmani or a scholar. And I will write, I will compose, and I will be different. So it's better on my part to get dissolved, and thus I am writing it in Kannada. This was a revelation, and Vyasaraya took it very seriously. He took Diksha from Sripadaraya, and he establishes later in Vijayanagara the Dasakuta. Instead of Vyasakuta, Vyasaraya starts Dasakuta. Dasakuta was, contrary to the Vyasakuta, Dasakuta was for Bhakti, total surrender, for local language in composing any songs, Devarnamas or Kirtanas or Kritis, as they call whatever. And at the same time, they will never dilute the religious aspects. They would excerpt from Bhagavad Gita or Puranas or Vedas or Vedangas or Upanishads and write it down in the form of Kannada, chaste Kannada language, so that all the people of Vijayanagara would understand. Kannada was very prevalent then, the Rajya Bhasha, when Saluva, Narasimha Deva and Krishna Devaraya were all ruling. Kannada was very much prevalent. And the border of Maharashtra or Tamil Nadu were not so, Karnataka were not so very clear. Of course, Tamil Nadu border was a little bit different. Karnataka and Maharashtra was not so much demarcated. So, Kannada was taken as the language to write the songs of Haridasas. And in Dasakuta, Vyasa Tirtha preaches all the other dasas to write in Kannada because it is the mother tongue, and it is through that they can reach God. They are permitted to talk to God in Kannada. They have the access to write in Kannada and reach the God or converse with the God. So this was Dasakuta, which was established by Vyasaraya, and the first one who would follow was perhaps Vadiraja Swami, who was also a 1480 born, 40 years junior to Vyasaraya. 1484 or 85 was Purandara Dasa, about 40 years junior to, once again, Vyasaraya. So 1400 is Sri Padaraya, 1440 is Vyasaraya, 1480, 1484 or 1485 Purandara Dasa, 1490s Kanakadasa, Vaikuntha Dasa, once again the contemporary of Purandara Dasa of 1480s, Vadiraja, Purandara Dasa, Vaikuntha Dasa, Kanakadasa. These four were the stalwarts who got Diksha from Vyasaraya for further Haridasa compositions. So many Shishya Paramparas, so many dasas later followed. Udupi Sri Vadiraja Swami, 1480. Vaikuntha Dasa, a contemporary of Purandara Dasa. Kanakadasa, 508. It is not known. Perhaps even Kanakadasa did not know when he got born. And Sri Raghavendra Swami, 1595. Khakandaki Mahipati Dasa, 1640. Galagali Avva. Then Khakandaki Krishna Rao, Prasanna Venkatadasa, Gopala Dasa, Helavanakatti Giriyamma, Sri Ramadasa. He was a Muslim poet who turned to be a Haridasa. Harapanahalli Bhimavva, Nekkaru Krishnadasa of Udupi, Pavanje Lakshmi Naranappaya of Mulki in Dakshina Kannada, in our place, and the list goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, perhaps 7 is also there. So many dasas. I have selected some names just for document purpose, that many dasas followed later, following Dvaita, following Madhva philosophy, following Bhakti, composing in Kannada, were done by these people. Caste and creed did not matter in this cult. Vadiraja Swami was a Advaitin, not Dvaitin. He was a Dvaitin. Vaikuntha Dasa was a Sri Vaishnavite who turned to be a Vaishnava. Narayana Yati was a Smarta Bhagavat who turned to Dvaita. Kanakadasa was a Kuruba or a shepherd of low caste, Ande Kuruba as we call. he was Advaitin, he became Vishishtadvaitin, and later Dvaitin. So, Kanakadasa, Helavana Katte Giriyamma, Harapanhalli Bhimavva, Galagaliyavva, Tulsibai, Timmamma, Haridasi, Ambabai were all ladies from different sections of the society who preached to the people in Kannada. Ramadasa was a Muslim. He was called Bade Sahib. He was a Bade Sahib. His second wife was Allamma. The picture is seen just by his side in meditation. They were for Rama. Both husband and wife were for Rama, the deity. And next. Okay. So this was the Haridasa tradition that was built up from Narahari Tirtha onwards. Purandara Dasa is the main one which we are talking about. Purandara Dasa, about him, about birth, about place, about his works, we do not know anything. Then how can I talk 2 hours about him? It is all because of Vijayadasa, who gave us all the information about Purandara Dasa after 126 years of the death of Purandara Dasa. So Purandara Dasa, before birth, I will talk about death. He died in 1565 or 66 or 67, something like that, when Talikota war or Rakkasatangadi war took place. It was against our Vijayanagar empire that Muslims fought each other, and Talikota was smashed to pieces. The Vijaya Vithala temple and about hundreds of temples in Hampi were all demolished, put to fire. We can even see it in Hampi. Some of the temples still run black because of the smoke and the burnt portions. They were burnt to ashes because of the Muslims, invaders, and thus Purandara Dasa, perhaps, who also witnessed this during this period, because he lived till 1565. He would have witnessed it. And how he died, we do not know. Pushya Bahula Amavasya was the date for him in 1565 or 66 or 67, whatever. Pushya Amavasya was the tithi on which he died, because his son records it in one of his compositions. Hence we know that he died on that particular tithi. So Purandara Dasa perhaps died in the Talikota war time, either by witnessing that or before that, we do not know. Along with the Purandara Dasa's death, all the compositions and all the shrutis, or one which could be just transferred to others through mouth, are all got completely demolished. So no one would sing Purandara Dasa songs after the Talikota war. There was a mass exodus from Hampi to other places, say Tanjavur and other places, where Nayak and other Darbar were there, and thus this was evacuated, immigrated. So Hampi was the place where the real Purandara Dasa's compositions and Purandara Dasa lived and flourished. We do not know, we do not see anything after the Talikota war. Only after 126 years, Vijayadasa excavates from his memory. In his dream, he sees Purandara Dasa after immersing himself in Ganges in Kashi and comes out. He had a dream of Purandara Dasa saying that, I am you. So Vijayadasa thinks that he himself is Purandara Dasa, and he gets all the old memories from his memory, in scientific terms cerebellum and cerebrum, and thus he starts recording. He records the compositions of Purandara Dasa, and he says in one of his compositions, Vijayadasa says, Purandara Dasa composed 4,25,000 compositions. Now, B. Ramurti Rao ji, he just said he has some 40,000 compositions of Purandara Dasa in him. For the first time I am hearing this. No one is having the compositions of Purandara Dasa except Sri Manmadhva Siddhanta Granthalaya of Udupi and Ambaji Ramachandra Rao of Maharashtra as the original ones in 1850s and 1890s. Before that, no record. No record. And if at all, it is only from Vijayadasa's compositions that we infer that these are the compositions, these are the Devarnamas, these are the Kritis, these are, he calls Kirtanas what we call now as Kritis, Ugabogas, Suladis, Gitas. They were all composed by him. Now, there is no tallying. With Ambaji Ramachandra Rao's book and Sri Manmadhva Siddhanta Granthalaya book and another Gorebalu Hanumanta Rao's book, another Kapatarala Krishna Rao's book, no tallying can be done. My head got short circuit and started smoking after reading all these things. And one song written in Gorebalu Hanumanta Rao book is of Kanakadasa Vise. And another song proposed by Kapatarala Krishna Rao as Kanakadasa is found in Purandara Dasa. And according to Vijayadasa, 14,000 Suladis are written by Purandara Dasa. Another Kavi, Girija Kavi or somebody, he says 25,000 Suladis. Without knowing all these bases we are talking. I should beg pardon from the Dasas that since Arunaji asked me to come and talk, I had to talk about these ambiguities. Not authentically I can talk about. It is with ambiguity that all these are known. Okay. Purandara Dasa's birth. Purandara Dasa is said to have taken his birth in Purandara Gada according to some textbooks, which has been totally turned out to be wrong. And according to the recent researchers, Purandara Dasa took his birth in Araga, a place near Shivamogga district, Tirthahalli Taluk. It is now established that he belongs to Araga. Because there is a small village, Purandara Halli, near Araga, I am told. So it gives some evidence for that also. And there are certain sufficient evidences led by R.K. Padmanabha and others, and they established that Araga is the place. And another thing that they had to do was to say that it was not Purandaragada. Purandaragada is in Pune or in Maharashtra. Purandaragada has nothing to do with the Purandara Dasa. That was quite different. Purandara is a name for Indra. Whether it was in the Purandara Dasa or that Indra, that place was called Gad, we do not know. Whatever that. It's also an ambiguous statement if I say that he is belonging to Purandara Gad. There is no evidence whatsoever, no evidence, no inscriptions, nothing is available, not available from the folk that Purandara Dasa got born in Purandaragada. So it is wrong. At least we have some evidence to say that he belonged to Shivamogga. Today, when we go to Araga, there is no one who will sing Purandara Dasa songs. They should have had a very strong hold of Purandara Dasa songs in Araga. But I have gone there, I have seen there, I have collected information from that place. No one knows, except sporadically as we sing in our houses. Hampi, perhaps you might have seen, one of the real playground for Purandara Dasa, is one place where we see the Vijayanagara Empire in its brightest way. Virupaksha temple, Vijaya Vithala temple, and about 900 temples there. All are demolished. Either the Gopuram is demolished, or the idol is taken out, or Narasimha is without hand or arm or some, all damaged. You just see, you won't feel happy when you go to Hampi, because you will see the debacle of our Hindu culture there, and everything in damaged way. You will feel happy because you are seeing a wonderful scenery, and if you feel that Purandara Dasa and many Dasas were all living here, you may sometime breathe his breath. That is one satisfaction once you go to Hampi. Otherwise, Hampi is a Napoleon's Waterloo. In Hampi, there is a Vijaya Vithala temple. Virupaksha temple, Virupaksha, in our Gitas it comes, no? Kunda Gaura. That Virupaksha temple is there. Vijaya Vithala temple is very much important for us. That's why I am talking about. Vijaya Vithala temple was there, perhaps constructed during the Vijayanagara Empire time. Maybe Salwa, Narasimha Deva, and later some Arasas would have done that temple. There is a story about the idol installed there for Vijaya Vithala temple. For my safety, I will call the idol of Vithala in the Vijaya Vithala temple as Vijaya Vithala. I will call him Vijaya Vithala. According to one school of thought, there was no Vijaya Vithala idol installed there in Vijaya Vithala temple at all. According to second school of thought, the idol was brought from Pandrapura. According to third school of thought, the idol of Pandrapura was once again imaged and carved and instilled in Hampi, in Vijaya Vithala temple later. Which of the three are true, we do not know. But one thing is very sure, even if we go there to the Vijaya Vithala temple, we do not see the idol there. It is said that Pandrapura Vitthal type of image was installed and consecrated by Krishnadevaraya. One school of thought says. Another school of thought is still very interesting. Before the idol from Pandharpur Vitthal was shifted to Vijayavithala temple, this Pandharpura Vitthal idol itself was in a little bit confusion. The idol of Pandharpura was brought from Gujarat or Saurashtra place. And it is from Udayagiri. Okay, it is from Udayagiri that the idol was brought. And it was consecrated in Pandharpur. But Udayagiri people pressurized Krishnadevaraya that it should be available to them once again. Krishnadevaraya obliges and gives it back to Udayagiri. Now, once again, there was a pressure to Krishnadevaraya, no, you should not have done it. You should not return it back to Udayagiri. It should come back to Pandharpura. It was none other than Bhanudasa, who is the grandfather of Sant Ekanath, who told Krishnadevaraya, no, you should not do that. It should be brought back. People are saying that Pandharpura Vitthal should be installed here. So it once again comes back. So Vitthal has travelled all through once or twice or something like that. And he comes back to Pandharpura and he just watches the bhaktas with his hands on the waist. And Vitobhara Kumai, Vitthal with Rukmini Devi will be seen there in Pandharpura. You all know that, but still just to have the imagination of how beautiful history or curious history or ambiguous history is behind us. So Vitobhara Kumai, this Vitobhara Kumai is said to have been shifted to Hampi at one set of time, which is not accepted by the research scholars at present. Because very recently, we got the idol of Vijayavithala temple in Hampi, but damaged to its arm. In Pandharpur. So this is still very curious for the researchers to do some research on this. Why it was taken to Pandharpur? Just to avoid the eyes of Muslims, so that they could just be taken to the ground and mask it? We do not know. Anyway, so many such things have happened in the Kanakadasa history, and hence this could also be true. So, Vijayavithala and Pandharpura Vithala are still curious or enigma to us. Pandharpura Vithala from Udayagiri, definitely it is from Udayagiri and it is still there in Pandharpura. And now in Hampi, we don't have Vijayavithala idol. That's for sure. So this is the Vijayavithala temple in Hampi. Very beautiful temple and carvings. This is stone cart in our currency note is also available. This is the Purandara Mantapa and the one Hanumagiri. Okay. The hill behind is Hanumagiri, Anjanadri Betta, which is having the Hanuman there. one should go there and see that. And Purandara Mantapa, which is available at the lower in the level, where the river is very nearby. Purandara Dasa's carving, the idol is carved on the pillar in this, and it was by one Govinda Dasa of Das Prakash Hotel who did it, and it is available there. This is the stone carving of Purandara Dasa, which is installed there and even worshipped now because of Govinda Dasa, one of the Dasa Paramparas. He belongs to our Das Prakash Hotel people. This is the Purandara Dasa's first ever portrait found in the Valajapete library, Bhajana Mandira, and it is available from the MVS Archives studio, and it is one of the very original paintings of Purandara Dasa. So this is about his birth and spreading of his deity from Pandarapura to Hampi, Hampi to Pandarapura, or whatever, we do not know. This is the first ever evidence, epigraphical evidence on Purandara Dasa on copper plate. It is available in Kampali or Kampalapura. It is in Hampi, very near to Hampi. It was written on 24th of February 1526. Epigraphia Indica, the details are available there, discovered by Purandara Dasa, says that a land was donated to Vyasaraya by Vijayanagara. This was called Vyasa Samudra. Vyasaraya donates it to his disciples, including 3 of the sons of Purandara Dasa, Lakshmana Dasa, Hebana Dasa or Hevana Dasa, which we do not know, and Madhvapa Dasa. These 3 sons were only given land of Vyasa Samudra by Vyasaraya while Purandara Dasa was living. This was in 1527. 1526. So he was living. Next. So this is one evidence to say when Purandara Dasa was living that he had 3 children. Vijaya Dasa, in his one of his compositions, says that there were 4 children for Purandara Dasa and 1 girl, 1 daughter. The mention of the daughter is never given in any compositions later, and the name of the children do not tally with the Epigraphia Indica inscriptions of copper plate. Both are quite different. Guru Madhvapa Dasa and other Abhinava Purandara and other Varada Purandara, Madhvapa Dasa, like that. Except 1 or 2 names, one name, other names do not tally. So there is a total confusion as far as the children are also concerned. Father's name is Krishnappa Nayaka. Whether it is Krishnappa Nayaka or Varadappa Nayaka, we do not know. Both are available in the literature. Name of Purandara Dasa. It is either Shinappa Nayaka or some other names, Shinu, something like that. He is said to be a very big gold merchant. He was called Navakoti Narayana, according to our films. He was extraordinarily a stingy man, according to our films. But never in the history of any inscriptions. One song said to be written by Vijayadasa says about these things, these details. But that song doesn't follow the chandas or yati or prasa of Vijayadasa. So we cannot say with authority or authenticity that this is written like this by Vijayadasa. Wife. Saraswati is said to be the wife. And so many histories and stories have been told in the films about Saraswati, that nose stud theory, which has been very popular and is available in the films. It is also said to be written by Vijayadasa. That song is, I have this song. If you just see that, it is just like Gadya and not Padya, and doesn't follow the chandas at all. It's not in the format of Vijayadasa. But it is said that it is Vijayadasa's composition. It's also perhaps wrong, which we need to throw light on that for further verification. No stud theory, no stud story says like this. Perhaps you may be knowing, I do not know. Those who do not know, I will just brief it. That Shinappa Nayaka was very, very stingy, and he was selling the Ratnabharanas and gold and other things. One small Brahmin along with the Vatu, Upanayana Vatu, comes to the shop of Purandara Dasa or Shinappa Nayaka and asks alms. He doesn't give, but he doesn't say no. He asks him to come tomorrow. Every day tomorrow. So tomorrow doesn't come at all. But that Brahmin did not worry. He persistently and insistent on getting the alms from Shinappa Nayaka. And upon seeing that he is not giving anything, he just goes to the wife's house, his house, where wife was there, and begs alms to do the Upanayanam. He takes the nose stud and gives it to this Brahmin. So he took that nose stud and comes back to the shop and gives to the same Shinappa Nayaka for testing. He just sees that and he says, it's my wife's. From where? Oh, somebody gave. Okay, wait. I will keep it inside the drawer. Wait for some time, I will come. He went to the house and asked the wife, where is the nose stud? Wife says, nose stud, she knows. So if husband comes to know that she has given that nose stud, he will kill. So she goes to the puja room, takes the bowl with poison, and she tries to drink it. By that time, as you can expect from the films, that the nose stud glitters on the poison. And she takes that and gives it to her husband. Perplexed he was. Shinappa Nayaka comes back and once again looks at the drawer. There was no stud there, even if it was locked before he going. And immediately understands that something miracle has happened here and tries to find out where this gentleman was. Nowhere he was found. And he found that it was none other than Srinivasa or Purandara Vitala or whatever he called. And he renunciates everything later at the request of his wife. And it's not selling, it's just donating everything to the public with Dandige, Betta. Dandige Betta was given to the husband by the wife, and she asked him we will go for taking alms from the public and live in Unchavritti. Purandara Dasa says, Adaddella Vallade Aitu. Whatever happened is very good for me.
ಆದದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಳಿತೇ ಆಯಿತು, ಆದದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಳಿತೇ ಆಯಿತು, ಶ್ರೀಧರನ ಸೇವೆಗೆ ಸಾಧನ ಸಂಪತ್ತಾಯಿತು, ಶ್ರೀಧರನ ಸೇವೆಗೆ ಆದದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಳಿತೇ ಆಯಿತು. ದಂಡಿಗೆ ಬೆತ್ತ ಹಿಡಿಯುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಂಡೆ ಮಾಚಿ ನಾಚುತ್ತಿದೆ.
To hold the staff, I was feeling ashamed of earlier. Now, my wife has asked me to hold this staff, and I am not feeling ashamed.
ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಸಂತತಿ ಸಾವಿರವಾಗಲು,
Hendati Santati, the Santati of Hendati, wife, let it be grown in multiples, in thousands. This kind of Hendati, let it grow in thousands.
ದಂಡಿಗೆ ಬೇತ ಹಿಡಿಸಿದಳಯ್ಯ.
She made me to hold the staff, ಆದದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಳಿತೇ ಆಯಿತು. Very good. Whatever happened was for good for me, is the saying by Purandara Dasa, and he leaves everything, and now he is given Diksha by Vyasaraya, and Vyasaraya says that you should have the Ankita. He said, no Ankita. No. When you are having this body is Ankita. When you are having this body, you should also have that Ankita with you. Purandara Vithala will be the Ankita. You compose songs and do that. So, spontaneously, without writing, without breaking the head, spontaneously songs came out from his mouth, and Purandara Dasa composed so many varieties of songs. And Maya Malava Gaula was taken as the first one to be learned by all the learners of Carnatic music. Perhaps it was either Shankarabharana Mela or Karahara Priya prevalent on those days for the beginners or the learners. But Purandara Dasa made it, Maya Malava Gaula, as the standard raga for all the learners because of certain technical finesse found in that mela. Sari, Gama, Pada, Nisa were near to it, and the subtlety of the swaras could be discerned by the students very properly. Perhaps that made Purandara Dasa to hold that raga as the standard one. Hats off to him, and thanks to him, even to this day we are singing only Maya Malagula for the learners. Varasais, Alankaras, the 35 Talas, and all the related ones, Varasais, were all formulated, tabulated, and given to us. 108 talas which were prevalent and advocated by all our connoisseurs earlier were highly confusing and could not be practiced so easily, and only Narasimhan sir can do that, or Ravikran sir can do that, not the normal man. Hence, Purandara Dasa just formulated only 7 talas into 5, 35 talas. Of all, Adi Tala was the master tala for most of the compositions. Khanda Chapu was also, and Chapu, the 7 was also taken. Rupak, of course, 6 was also included. And thus, though there were 35 talas, on all the kirtanas were not written. Kritis or kirtanas were not written in all the talas. Dhruva Matya Rupaka Jampi Triputata Eka. He did not compose it. But Suladis, which were very, very important in Kannada literature, were composed in all the 7 talas. Suladis have a very interesting history. Pandarika Vithala or Sangita Saramrita, Tulaja in Sangita Saramrita, iti Salagas Udastha Gitanam Shri Purandara Dasa Dairabhiyuktaihi Puratanai. It is a Puratana one kind. It's a very good old kind of Prabandha. And Purandara Dasa, about a few of them have written this. It is a kind of Prabandha. It's called Salaga Suda Prabandha. What is this Salaga? What is this Suda? Much discussions have been held about this. Salaga or Chayalaga have been discussed. Perhaps this is not the platform to discuss about it. We will be going out of the way. It is up to Sir here to discuss about Salaga and Chayalaga or Chayalaga. Suda has also, the Vyutpatti or the origin of this word has also been discussed at length. It is called Sula. Sula is Suluhu, or giving a clue, a trace. So through that, Sula, Suda might have originated. Suda, of all the, there are many kinds of Sudas. One such is Salaga Suda or Chayalaga. One such. This is the Deshi one. And others, Shuddha is a Margi one, which cannot be practiced. This Deshi one has some significance. And Purandara Dasa, Mahipati Dasa, and other Dasas have taken this for constructing what is called Suladi Sapta Tala. Suda Adi, from Dhruva Matya Rupaka Jampa Triputata Eka. From these 7 talas, they have selected at least 4 or 5 talas and made a tala malika. Nobody now knows how to sing Sudas in its authentic form. Though 2 or 3 Sudas are mentioned in Subbarama Dikshitar's book, if it is sung as it is, it doesn't look like Suda. Suda has some different form or connotation or something like that. This Suda or Sudadi, have different stanzas, say about 6 to 7 or 8 stanzas. Every stanza will be having some construction for the tala format, In what way it is following a format if we have not deciphered properly. But anyway, it has some format. And that will be set to one particular tala. Dhruva, Matthya, Rupaka are compulsory. Other talas, optional, not mandatory. So 3 talas are compulsory in the construction of one Suladi. Now at the end of this Suladi composition, 2 lines will be there, which has to be sung in chorus. This is called jote. This has to be sung in chorus, and it is called jate or jote. And to summarize everything, it will be in one format and it will end. So with the jote, Suladi will come to an end. T. Shachi Devi and T. Sharada were the 2 who researched very much on the Suladis from Karnataka. I have talked with them, and they said that it is very authentic that what they sing. But I have consulted some other also. They said that their version is authentic. And I have also understood that from Subbarama Dikshitar, whatever that the people sing is also authentic. So authentic in its own way. We shall not decide upon how Suladi or Sudadis are to be sung. It is not known. Long back in the 12th century, one Padmananka mentions about Suladi. Later, some literatures have mentioned about Suladis or Sula Prabandha, Sudadi Prabandhas. Sangita Ratnakara mentions Sudadis are known. Very curiously, only in Kannada language, Sudadi has come out. No other language tried this, perhaps. But very similar to Sudadis, if at all there is a parallel, they say Ovis of Marathi language could be some of the very nearest ones. Ovis. We have Eles, Ele in Kannada. They are Dvipadis. There are also some parallels, but according to Ra Satyanarayana, Eles are quite different, and it is a different kind of prabandha. So, Suladi is exclusively found in Kannada literature, though it may have something resembling in Telugu literature, that too tangentially, not very intently, but Suladi is found only in Kannada. Very unfortunately, we have forgotten how to sing Suladis. So, this is a great loss to our literature as well as to our Carnatic music, which is one of the wonderful gold material which we have lost. Another very important point that Ra Satyanarayana mentions is, which may be contradictory to many, the Gitas that we sing, Lambodara Lakumikara, Kundagaura, Kereya Neeranu Kerege Chelli, Analekara, all are in Malahari. Analekara is in Shuddha Saveri, which Ra Satyanarayana says it was in Malahari. He also doubts that all these Gitas, what we call now, were the different stanzas of one Suladi, starting from Ganesha, Lambodara, ending with the Analekara, Parameshwara Stuti, and Vishnu Stuti in the middle, Kereya Neeranu Kerege Chelli. once again, Vidwan Mahashayas have to resolve it, not persons like us. It is really very thrilling to note that there is something here to note with. From Ganapati to Parameshwara, through Vishnu, all these Gitas, if they are joined and the talas are changed, it may resemble some Suladis. Whether it is correct or not, we do not know. We should not try also because we do not know. So anyway, this is just a thing to be thought of. One very interesting thing is about Suladi. Very recently, 10-12 years back, I came across with a saint in Udupi, coming from Marathi land. He is called Bannanje Raghavendra Swamiji. He is younger than me. But he, upon talking to him, I came to know that he was rendering Suladis. Nanige Suladi gottu. I know Suladi, he says. I recorded all those. One such, you may please, half a minute or something, just to change the talas. It is in different form, this one, pieces. So you may just listen to the Suladis. It is about Anjaneya Swami, written by Raghavendra Swamiji on Anjaneya, and Maruta Ninnaya is the first word. He has used talameter.
Maruta Ninnaya Mahime,
Maruta Ninnaya Mahime,
Paripari Inda Tilidu,
Paripariinda ತಿಳಿದು,
ಚರಿಸಿದ ಮನೋಜನಿಗೆ,
ಚರಿಸಿದ ಮನೋಜನಿಗೆ,
ದುರಿತ ಬಾಧೆಗಳ್ಯಾಕೆ,
ದುರಿತ ಬಾಧೆಗಳ್ಯಾಕೆ,
ಸರಸಿಜಾಸನ.
Actually, in tandem it should have come, but I have cut it into pieces.
ಇರುತಿ ಜಗದ
ಕೀರ್ತಿ ಜಗದ
ಆಧರಕನಾಗಿ
ಆದರಕನಾಗಿ,
ಇರುತ್ತಿದ್ದು ಧಾರುಣಿ
ಇರುತ್ತಿದ್ದು ದಾರುಣಿ
ಒಳಗೆ,
ಒಳಗೆ,
ಮೂರು ಅವತಾರ
ಮೂರು ಅವತಾರಗಳ
ಧರಿಸಿ
ಧರಿಸಿ,
ಕ್ರೂರರ ಸದೆದೆದ್ದು
ಕ್ರೂರರ ಸದೆದೆದ್ದು,
ಮೀರಿದ ಕಾರ್ಯವೇ.
ಮೀರಿದ ಕಾರ್ಯ.
ಒಂದು ಅವತಾರದಲ್ಲಿ
ಒಂದು ಅವತಾರದಲ್ಲಿ
ಒಂದೇ ರಕ್ಕಸರ,
ಒಂದೇ ರಕ್ಕಸರ,
ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಅವತಾರದಿ
ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಅವತಾರದಿ
ಅಸುರ ವೃಂದ ಘಾತಿಸಿದೆ,
ಅಸುರ ವೃಂದ ಘಾತಿಸಿದೆ,
ನಂದ ತೀರ್ಥ ರೂಪ.
This is a small piece which you can listen. I have the CD of this Swamiji, and he says that this is the correct format of Suladi which I learned from the Marathi land. He doesn't know who is his guru to teach him Suladi. Anyway, this is one such version which I could get it from this source. More informations I have collected for want of time, and instead of prolonging further, I am just cutting it down and switching over to the next. Uga Bhoga. Uga Bhogas are very peculiar. Udgraha and Abhoga are together here, taking up the raga and elaborating it so that it comes to the heart. Are two stages which is needed for Udgraha and Abhoga, and it is called together Udgraha Bhoga or Uga Bhoga. Uga Bhogas are now sung like Viruttams or Slokas. They don't have the format of Suladis. They follow certain Shiva Sharana's vachanas like. Even in Uga Bhoga, we do not know how to sing it properly because it is Anibadha, not tuned to Tala, and hence Uga Bhoga is just sung as we need. Sing any one Uga Bhoga. Yelutta Govindage Kayya Mugive. Nenpunda? Hedu. Heltene.
ಏಳುತ್ತ ಗೋವಿಂದಗೆ ಕೈಯ ಮುಗಿವೆ ಏಳುತ್ತ ಗೋವಿಂದಗೆ ಕೈಯ ಮುಗಿವೆ ಕಣ್ಣೆವೆ ತೆಗೆದು ನೋಡುವೆ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ಕಣ್ಣೆವೆ ತೆಗೆದು ನೋಡುವೆ ಶ್ರೀಕೃಷ್ಣನ ನಾಲಿಗೆ ತೆಗೆದು
ನಾಲಗೆ ತೆಗೆದು ನುಡಿಯು
ನಾರಾಯಣ ನರಹರಿ ಷೋಡಶ ಸಾಸಿರ ಗೋಪಿಕೆಯರ ರಸ ಎನ್ನಾಳು ದೊರೆಗೆ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲ is one song which was popularized by Radha Jayalakshmi long back. And it's very popular. It's a Uga Bhoga. Similarly, for Baro Krishnaya, Baliya Manege, Vamana Bandante is also another Uga Bhoga which we see. Similarly, there is Ikko Namma Swami Jagadantaryami is also a Uga Bhoga, but Vijay Shivaji has sung it in a Manirango in a Kriti format. So we are free to do that. That's why it's done. So Uga Bhoga is a special kind, Anibadha one, like a Viruttam or Shlokam which is being sung. Taya is also yet another composition given by Purandara Dasa, says Prasanna Venkata Dasa. How Taya was sung and how it was framed, we do not know. Whether it is Sthayi or Thayi or something connected with the Sthayi and Antara of Hindustani, that Sthayi, we do not know. And we don't have any compositions on Taya by Purandara Dasa. The next one which we are now looking forward is the Kirtanas or Devarnamas or Padas as it is called. Padas or Devarnamas themselves will make a very big deal where we can analyze, we can talk about how they have been framed and other things. Anyway, there is a Pallavi, Anupallavi and more than two charanas. There is this format found in a chaste Kannada. We call it Nava Kannada, Navayuga Kannada, not the old Kannada. When I went through Gorebalu Hanumantarau's book, the same composition of Purandara Dasa found in Sri Manmadva Siddhanta Granthalaya Udupi version, it is different. That Kannada is also quite very difficult to be pronounced. Same song, but with different pronunciations and some even scripts. Gorebalu Hanumantarao seems to be one of the very great scholars in Kannada to talk about the Haridasa literature. I have a book of Gorebalu, but it is highly, highly confusing and to deduce which is correct and which is not correct. So many research scholars have thrown light on this, but when they say, if they are inclined to say that Gorebalu is correct, they will just give all the evidences to say that Gorebalu is correct. And if they found that it is not correct, then they will find evidences to just cut out that discussion for everything. We, the learners, will be put to perplexion that how to deduce or tell about the real compositions of Purandara Dasa. So anyway, we cannot say how many kirtanas have been written by Purandara Dasa. It could be in thousands. But Sri Manmadva Siddhanta Granthalaya of Pavanje Guru Rao has published in 1850 some 1,000 compositions, 950 to be precise, in 4 volumes. And later it has been compiled by Padekallu Vishnu Bhatta and is now available. It is now available in this format, in this book from the Sri Manmadva Siddhanta Granthalaya of Udupi. It was printed in Krishna Press in the Car Street, very near to the Krishna Math. Very curious to know here that one Mr. P.V. Shyamarao of Tirunelveli side, he is called Krishna Dasa. And he composed so many songs. At the end he writes, Tande Purandara Vithala. There lies the problem. We have so many songs. Purandara Dasa has written Tande Purandara Vithala as the Ankita. But out of that, in 2010, from the University of Dharwad, researcher groups have come out with a solution saying that some 57 compositions are from P.V. Shyamarao, from Tirunelveli. How this could be tallied? Now, once it was traced that this P.V. Shyamarao wrote the scripts in Sanskrit and gave it to Krishna Press of Udupi for print, where Sri Manmadva Siddhanta Granthalaya people also gave Purandara Dasa scripts for printing. This Sanskrit script could not be printed. So it was converted into Kannada. And in Kannada it was printed and it was adjoined with this book. And we have some 30 compositions here in this book. I have noted this in this book. And I have made note of this to Mr. Padekallu Vishnu Bhatta also, that this has to be deleted. I will come to ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ಸರ್. ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್. ನಳಿನ ಕಾಂತಿ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಲೈನ್ ಹಾಡು. ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಬಾರೋಣ.
ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಬಾರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಬಾರೋ.
ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್. ಅನದರ್.
ನಳಿನ ನಾಭನ ನೀನು ಪಾಡು.
ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ರಾಗ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ರಿಟನ್ ದೇರ್.
ನಳಿನ ನಾಭನ ನೀನು ಪಾಡು. ಈಗ ನಳಿನ ನಾಭನ ನೀನು ಪಾಡು. ಕಂದ ಬೇಡವೋ ಮಣ್ಣು ತಿನ್ನ ಬೇಡವೋ ಸುಂದರಾಂಗನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ನೋಯುವುದಯ್ಯ. ಕಂದ ಬೇಡವೋ ಮಣ್ಣು ತಿನ್ನ ಬೇಡವೋ.
So these are some of the songs which we have taken out from the Purandara Dasa book, and they are from P.V. Shyamarao, another very big Dasa by himself. We have collected some 57 compositions of P.V. Shyamarao at present from the Purandara Dasa compositions, where Tande Purandara Vitala is there for Purandara Dasa also. These Tande Purandara Vitala are different, and this Tande is taken out from that Tande. So there also Tande is there, but it was written by Purandara Dasa perhaps, and this Tande is very curious, and the chandas and other things are different, and thus we have taken it out from that compositions. So historically, so many ambiguities we have come across. However, in all the compositions of Purandara Dasa, we find Navavidha Bhakti. In all the compositions, in one way or the other, Bhakti is advocated. But Navavidha Bhakti, as it is the Shravana, Kirtana, Smarana, Padasevana, all are available in one Kirtan or other. We will have a small snippet, one after another, just for a change. Shravana.
ಹರಿಕಥಾ ಶ್ರವಣ ಮಾಡು ಪಾಡೋ. ಹರಿಕಥಾ ಶ್ರವಣ ಮಾಡು.
Kirtana.
ನಾಮ ಕೀರ್ತನೆ ಅನುದಿನ ಮಾಡ್ಪಗೆ ನರಕ ಭಯಗಳುಂಟೆ.
ಸ್ಮರಣ.
ಸ್ಮರಣೆಯೊಂದೇ ಸಾಲದೆ ಗೋವಿಂದನ ಸ್ಮರಣೆಯೊಂದೇ ಸಾಲದೆ.
ಪಾದಸೇವನ. ನರಸಿಂಹನ.
ನರಸಿಂಹನ ಪಾದ ಭಜನೆಯ ಮಾಡು. ನರಸಿಂಹನ ಪಾದ ಭಜನೆಯ ಮಾಡು.
ಅರ್ಚನಾ.
ಧೂಪಾರತಿಯ ನೋಡುವ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಧೂಪಾರತಿಯ ನೋಡುವ ಬನ್ನಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ದೇವರ ಪೂಜೆಯ ಧೂಪಾರತಿಯ ನೋಡುವ ಬನ್ನಿ.
ಹೇಗೆ ಮೆಚ್ಚಿಸಲಿ, ಹೇಗೆ ಮೆಚ್ಚಿಸಲಿ. How can I please you or please you? How can I please you?
ಹೇಗೆ ಮೆಚ್ಚಿಸಲಿ ಅರ್ಚಿಸಲಿ ಹರಿಯೇ. ಹೇಗೆ ಮೆಚ್ಚಿಸಲಿ ಅರ್ಚಿಸಲಿ ಹರಿಯೇ.
ವಂದನ. ನಾಚಿಕೆ ಪಡಬೇಡ.
ನಾಚಿಕೆ ಪಡಬೇಡ. ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಚಿಕೆ ಪಡಬೇಡ.
ದಾಸ್ಯ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೋ ಎನ್ನ.
ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೋ ಎನ್ನ.
ವೆಲ್ ನೋನ್ ಟು ಯು.
ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸಾಸಿರ ನಾಮದ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೋ ಎನ್ನ.
ಸಖ್ಯ ಹೂವ ತರುವರ ಮನೆಗೆ.
ಹೂವ ತರುವರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹುಲ್ಲ ತರುವ.
ಪಾಂಡವರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಕುದುರೆಗಳ ತಾ ತೊಳೆದು. ಇನ್ ಪಾಂಡವಾಸ್ ಹೌಸ್ ಕೃಷ್ಣ like a friend he himself bathed it and he did everything to the horses. Pundarikaksha, he fed it with hullu or grasses. He has no Veda. He finds it as Sakhya Bhava with Arjuna or Pandavas, and hence the song. Atma Nivedana, last one. Aparadhi.
ಅಪರಾಧಿ ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಅಪರಾಧ ಎನಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಪರಾಧಿ ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಅಪರಾಧ ಎನಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಕಪಟ ನಾಟಕ ಸೂತ್ರಧಾರಿ ನೀನೇ. ಕಪಟ ನಾಟಕ ಸೂತ್ರಧಾರಿ ನೀನೇ. ಅಪರಾಧಿ ನಾನಲ್ಲ.
So all the Navavida Bhaktis are just represented one song at least. There are so many songs related to this. Navavida Bhakti Suladi was available from Purandara Sahitya Darshana book. Can you sing?
ಹರಿ ಶ್ರವಣ ಕೀರ್ತನ ಹರಿ ನಾಮ ಸ್ಮರಣ ಹರಿ ಪಾದ ಸೇವನ ಹರಿ ಪೂಜಾ ವಂದನ ಹರಿದಾಸ ಸಖ್ಯಾತ್ವ ಹರಿಗಾತ್ಮಾರ್ಪಣ ಹರಿ ಭಕ್ತಿಯೇ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಪತತತ್ವ. ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಸಿದ್ಧ ವರಮಧ್ವಮಥ ಶ್ರುತಿ ಸ್ಮೃತಿಯೋಳ್ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧ. ವರಮಧ್ವಮಥ ಶ್ರುತಿ ಸ್ಮೃತಿಯೋಳ್ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧ.
Just he appreciates the Madhvamata in this Suladi. Of course, not in the real Suladi format. We have used our own freedom to sing it here. I referred it to the Navavida Bhakti. Second, Tattva Bodhe or Niti Bodhe. Chitta Shuddhi Illada Manuja Jnaniye. One line. Ura Devara Madabekanna. Ura Devara Madabekanna. Entire body has to be made into a Devaru or God.
ಊರ ದೇವರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಣ್ಣ, ತನ್ನೊಳಗೆ ತಾನೇ ಊರ ದೇವರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಣ್ಣ.
ಧರ್ಮವೇ ಜಯವೆಂಬ ದಿವ್ಯ ಮಂತ್ರ. ಇರಬೇಕು, ಇರದಿರಬೇಕು. You should be there and you should not be there. Like that you have to live. Hari Chitta Satya. It is permanent, Satya. Nechabeda Prani, Samsara Sthira Yendu. Don't believe in this samsara that it is stable and permanent is yet another. So like this. Yarenu maduvaru? Who can do anything? Yarinda yenagudu? Who can do what work? Vidhi Purva Janmada Karma Vidhi Benna Bidadu. If it is already written in your forehead, it will follow you every time. So whatever that happens in the Purva Janma Karma, it has to happen. Yarenu maduvaru? It's wonderful. So that is Tattva Bodhe or Niti Bodhe. So many songs are there. Vaishnava Mata Bodhe. There are so many songs related to this. One very important point that I should mention here is the Taratamya Niti proposed by Madhva. Taratamya Niti says that there is a classification of these gods and goddesses in a kaksha, orbits. Taxonomically, they are classified by Sri Madhvacharya. Vishnu, next Lakshmi, then all the gods and goddesses according to tattvas. There is Pancha Mahabhutas and 25 tattvas behind it. For everything, he has made the composition, and on the fourth position, there is Saraswati and Bharati. Saraswati and Bharati occupies the fourth position. She is next to Lakshmi. Bharati is next to Saraswati, but in the same position, fourth orbit, shall I say. Who is this Bharati is a very curious thing. And other things I don't want to tell. This Bharati was a rupa, name, form, and karma are the three parallels for any. Name is Bharati. Her rupa is Rudra. Her karma is Vayu. So Bharati, Rudra and Vayu are parallels, and they were the standards. In Treta Yuga, there was one Shiva Brahmin who takes up this tattvas. And after that, in the Dwapara Yuga, Indrasene, the daughter of Nala and Damayanti, takes up this, and she is the parallel to thus Bharati or Rudra or Vayu. So they are one and the same. So Bharati's parallel is found in Indrasena. Same, Draupadi, because of some shapa, she comes out from the yajna or yaga as Yajnaseni. So Indraseni and Yajnaseni. So Indraseni is Naladamayanti's daughter, and Yajnaseni here coming out from the fire, Agni, and Yajnaseni Draupadi is once again a parallel to Bharati. She is wife of Bhima. Vayu had the consort Bharati. Bhima had the consort Draupadi. And the next incarnation, Madhvacharya comes, according to Madhva philosophy. And Madhvacharya is sannyasin. How can you think of a wife? But Bharati is his wife. In all tattva, tattvika nele, in the ground of principles, Madhvacharya's wife is Bharati. So Vayu's consort is Bharati. Bhima's consort is Bharati or Draupadi. And Madhvacharya's consort is also Bharati. So Vayu, Bhima, Madhva are all equals in three different incarnations. So Anjaneya Swami is called Mukhya Prana, Vayu, or Bhima, or Madhva, or one and the same. So Anjaneya Swami has his consort, Bharati. So he is called Bharati Antargata Mukhya Prana, we say. when we make a sankalpa, Bharati Antargata Mukhya Prana. So this is Hanumanta's wife. Bharati is Hanumanta's wife. Tattvika in principle. So Taratamya gives that much of importance to everything. In the 18th Kaksha, Ganapati is sitting, and those Kakshas which are in the lower case, they are all to go to the highest pedestal, and they have to go reach Vishnu, of course, through Lakshmi. Only Lakshmi is capable of taking everyone towards Vishnu. And we will not one with Vishnu, we will, after getting a Vaikunta, we will sit in the pada of Vishnu as a servant, surrendered servant. So this is Bhakti in the Dvaita, still maintained even at the Vaikunta, as separate, living separately, not together. I was telling about Mundiges in the last lecture here in the December. So I don't want to talk once again, because I have spent some 2.5 hours for that Mundige, which is available in the YouTube now. SL sir is nodding his head for that. It's available in the YouTube. One can just go through that. They are riddles or puzzles which these dasas have given to us by following certain principles from Upanishads or Vedas, where indirectly giving a message to us through riddles is given in some 50 compositions of Purandara Dasa, 50 compositions of Kanakadasa, 4 compositions of Mahipati Dasa, and a few others, 1 or 2, like that. So they are mundiges which need to be deciphered very carefully to understand the real meaning behind it. There are nindastutis, there are satires, there are some perfidiousness, vidambana as we call it, deceitful, ajnanigala kode sangave lesu. Adhika snehakkinta sujnanigala sanga lesu, avara jagala lesu. Udara vairagyavidu, bevu bellada udolu ಇಡಲು ಏನು ಫಲ, ಮಡಿ 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 ಎಂದು ಹಾರುತಿ, ಅಡಿಗಡಿಗೆ ಹಾರುತಿ. So like that, so many vidambanas or satires and perfidiousness are written in some of the compositions. Some Madhva philosophy, I have told last time also, Yaradu ondagadu. Two cannot become one. Dvaita is Dvaita. Two are there. So, Yaradu Ondagadu is one such song which we have elaborated last time. There are some songs like Madhva Padada Siddhantada Paddhati Bidabedi, Bittu Kedabadi. This is slightly doubtful whether it has been written by Purandara Dasa or not. He won't do such a very drastic comment on the Siddhanta. Anyway, it is there. So many such things are there. Krishna Stuti and Krishna Leela are mentioned and described in multiple ways in so many songs of Purandara Dasa. Gopika Stuti are there, Viraha Stutis are there, Lalabis are there, Jojo Shri Krishna Paramananda, Tu Gire Rangana, Tu Gire Krishnana. Then affectionate mother, Tai Vatsalya, mother Vatsalya songs. And how music should be. Tala beku, takka mela beku.
Kelanu hari talanu.
He won't listen to your music if the music is not infused with love.
ತಾಳಮೆಳಗಳಿದ್ದು ಪ್ರೇಮವಿಲ್ಲದ ಗಾನ ಕೇಳನು ಹರಿ ತಾಳನು.
There is another composition called Tala Beku Takka Mela Beku, where how the singer should perform and how the singer should be. There is another Nalina Janda Kolala Nudi Mohisutiralu. Talayadoogi Mohisutiralu. Another song is there which mentions about 27 ragas together. Maravi.
ಮಾರವದೇಶಿ ಗುಜ್ಜರಿ ಭೈರವ ಗೌಳಿ ನಾಟಿ ಸಾವೇರಿ ಅಹೇರಿ ಊರ್ವಿ ಕಾಂಬೋಧಿ ಪಾಡಿ ದೇಶಾಕ್ಷಿ ಶಂಕರಾಭರಣ ಮಾಳವಿ ವರಾಳಿ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣಿ ತೋಡಿ ಮುಖಾರಿ ಯರಳಿ ವಸಂತ ಬೋಳಿ ಧನ್ಯಾಶ್ರೀ ಸೌರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಗುಂಡಕ್ರಿಯ ರಾಮಕ್ರಿಯ ಮೇಘ ಕುರಂಜಿಯ ಪಾಡಲು ನೋಡಿ ನಳಿನ ಜಾಂಡ ತಲೆಯದೂಗಿ ಮೋಹಿಸುತ್ತಿರಲು.
This song, of course, set in here in Devagandhari, carries the names of 27 ragas. There is another composition called Tutturu Toorendu ಬತ್ತೀಸ ರಾಗಗಳನ್ನು ಚಿತ್ತವಲ್ಲಭ ತನ್ನ ಕೊಳಲನ್ನು ಊದಿದನು. 9 ragas are mentioned here. ಅಂಗನೆಯರೆಲ್ಲ ನೆರೆದು ಚಪ್ಪಾಳಿ ಕುತ. Some 8 ragas are there, and there are some names of some vadyas or instruments. Tittiri, Mauri. Mauri is Mahuri, Mauri, or Nagaswara, small Nagaswara, or Mukhavine. They are all Mauris. Tala, Dandige. Dandige was also used for as a vadya. Maddale, a mridangam like, which is used in Yakshagana. Shankha, all vadyas names are there in this. So music portions are also mentioned in some of the songs of Purandara Dasa. Bala Leeles, Yanta Punyave Gopi, Chikkavane Ivanu.
ಚಿಕ್ಕವನೇ ಇವನು ಇವನು ಚಿಕ್ಕವನೇ ಇವನು ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕದೆ ಓಡುವನು ಇವನು ಚಿಕ್ಕವನೇ ಇವನು.
ಮೆಲ್ಲ ಮೆಲ್ಲನೆ ಬಂದನೆ ಗೋಪಮ್ಮ ಕೇಳೆ, ಅಮ್ಮ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ. Like that, so many songs of Balaliles of Krishnas are described in this. Shobhane Kalyanam, Tulasi Kalyanam is a
Kalyanam Tulasi Kalyanam
is a Shobhane type of song about strees. Nambabedi Nariyarannu, don't believe strees. I doubt whether it is written by Purandara Dasa or not. Satige swatantrava kodadiru, don't give freedom to the wife. Hendati prana hinduti, you are throttling my prana. Hendati. And there are some other with some improper words also, which I don't want to spell it here. It's available in Purandara Dasa literature. Whether it is truly written by him or not, I don't know. Lalisidelu Magana, Adisidele Shoda are all very popular. Lali, Jojo Krishna Pramananda are also very popular. Then Kshetra Paryatana. Purandara Dasa might have made the travel all through the South India mostly. Thiruvannamalai, Arunagiri, Ahobala, Udupi, Kanchi, Kanakagiri, Kashi, Kumbakonam, Kodalipura, Shivamogga, Gadaga, Ghatikachala, Tirupati, Torave, Nagamangala, Pandarapura, Beluru, Bhadrachala, Mannaru, Maluru or Chennapattana, Srimushnam, Srirangapatana, Hampi, Harihara, Honnurupura, Melukote, Sringarapura or Sringeri, etc. And for every visit, he has composed some songs which I have enlisted here, which I don't want to take that. So he might have visited or he might have just noted it down in the songs. We do not know. All the composition, most of the compositions of Purandara Dasa, or Dasa for that matter, are basically based on Vairagya. So by looking into this, one very great poet, D.V. Gundappa, DVG, he comments on Haridasa. What is this? He has lost everything. Vairagya, Vairagya, Vairagya. He has no Utsaha. There is no valor. So it should be like Hanuman with valor, and don't follow the steps shown in Haridasa's Sahitya. In a lighter way, he has commented that. Just I remember that because there is also one possibility of thinking in that way. Anya Mata Vichara. This is slightly very dangerous. Turukaru karedare unabahude. If Muslims ask you to come to his house and eat, can you go? Is one song. Aritu bandenu. Aritu bandevilli. Ariyade bandevu Kimsan. Pariharisaya Bamsan. It's a peculiar kind of pronunciation following the Muslims' words. Hussein, Kimsan, Bamsan are all used. Allah, Khuda are all used in some of the songs. Once Purandara Dasa was going on Unchavrutti, and some Muslims, it seems, he came across with the Muslims, and they insisted that he should sing some song on Allah or some Muslim songs. Then he said, Ariyade bandevu Kimsan, Pariharisaya Bamsan. Like that he sang one. No, she doesn't allow me to just stop there. Paripari indale harihari endare durita bhaya ondillalla. So like that. Kanakaksha kondave Kimsan, Prahladage olidage Bamsan, Narayana nimma namavanenedare narakada bhaya ondillalla. Battale nintage, there is a Dashavatara description here. Battale nintage Buddha. Battale nintage Kimsan, mat Ashwava nerdage Bamsan, Kali. Ashwa is horse. Satyadi Purandara Vithalana nenedare Satya Lokavaitallalla. So beautifully he has written, and this is a song said to have been written while he comes across with some other Anyamatas. Guddidavane Balla, one who pounds, he knows how much pressure he has, gave a blow. Guddisi kondavane Balla, the person who has pounded, and the person who has been pounded, only to know how much pressured blow that they got. Suddige tavilla. People may say so many things. Bauddhare, keliri nivella. Oh Buddha, followers of Buddha, you listen to this. This is a very peculiar one which criticizes so many things about Buddhas. Kabbinale, Dr. Kabbinale Vasanta Bharadwaj, very great scholar, he has analyzed this as one of the mundiges of Purandara Dasa, and he has analyzed this song that it is a commentary on commentary against Buddhists. Anyway, that's a different thing. There are Dandakas. Anantakoti Brahmanda Nayaka. It goes 181 Divya Namas of Vishnu is in this Gadya Namavali. It's also written by Purandara Dasa. Keshava Nama. Noorentu Narayana in Ananda Bhairavi. They are all available. Dr. Sakra Ramachandra Rao has compiled these songs in his book. Draupadi Vastrapaharana is a Prakarana Prabandha written by Purandara Dasa, said to have been written by Purandara Dasa. Mangalang Sirikagi Nilayadi Keshavage Mangalam Girivasage Mangalam is also there from Kanaka. So whether it is written by Kanaka or Purandara, Mangalam Arasa, Sri Arasa, Purandara Vitalage, Mangalam Jaya Mangalam is written here, as to say that it is written by Purandara Dasa, and Kagi Nilayadi Keshavage Mangalam so has to be called as, it's a Udayaraga Paddhati type with 15 charanas and said to be written by Kanakadasa. Gajendra Moksha at another is there. 11 stanzas are there. In the early morning hours, women folk used to sing this in a Udayaraga Paddhati type, and it's also another storytelling. Bhagavad Gita Sara. This is very interesting. 17 shlokas are there following tantric types of Tantra Sara Prakriya. And previously, there was songs called Jajara Hadu, which was mentioned in Someshwara's Abhilartha Chintamani, Abhilashitartha Chintamani as a charchari. Whether the same charchari is this Jajara Hadu is we do not know, but this tantric way of putting things from Bhagavad Gita is done by Purandara Dasa in this. Panini in his Ashtadhyaya, he mentions about Charcharika. It's one, perhaps it is one and the same as Sakra Ramachandra Rao believes. It was more in Andhra, and it starts with some Samskrita shloka, followed by Prakrita Gahe, followed by Telugu Padya, and once again ends with Samskrita Padya. This is a, in tandem they are coming, and lastly Kannada Padya will be appended. This is peculiar Purandara Dasa Sahitya, said to have been written by Purandara Dasa as Pavanje Guru Rao's Sri Manmadva Siddhanta Prakatanalaya says. So that is called Bhagavad Gita Sara. I have told enough, I know that, about Purandara Dasa Sahityas. If at all there is any person who made us to understand about Purandara Dasa in the 1800s, it was Reverend T. Hodgson and J. Stephenson, who brought out the Purandara Dasa Padas, and Reverend A. J. O. Lyle and Dalgel. They brought it after scrutinizing it. And in 1871, Charles E. Gower publishes a book called Folk Songs of Southern India. It carries 28 kirtanas in translated form, and some are very peculiar. Kallu Sakkare Kolliro Neevellaru is written in this, in a song in praise of Krishna. Gover writes, "Buy my sugar candy in the name of Hari. Buy my sugar candy. My stock is not packed on the backs of strong kine, not pressed into bags strongly fastened with twine. Wherever it goes, it no taxes doth pay, but still is most sweet and brings profit, I say. Is the English translation by Gower in 1871, and it's available in Edward P. Rice's book. There are some references by foreigners highlighting only certain very bad things written in some Haridasa compositions, which I don't want to dwell on. Because they have not understood the samskara of Dasa. That's why they highlighted certain bad words only and highlighted the things which we don't want. Purandara Dasa and Abhangs. He was very much influenced by Abhangs, and perhaps Purandara Dasa composed so many songs. By listening to Devarnamas, Santa Jnanadev is said to have composed one Kannada song. It is available in Usmania University Research Board, found by D.K. Bhimsen Rao.
ಕೇಳೆ ಮಾತು ಕೇಳೆ ಘನಿಗೆ ಮರುಳಾದೆನೆ
akka ni kele. Perhaps it is akka. It is also written ni kele, akka ni kele, matu kele, yele ghanige maruladene. You have become mad by looking into that Gani, Krishna, Vithala. Cheluva, glorious, beautiful Cheluvane.
Pandhari Raya Cheluvane, 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 Pandhari Raya Cheluvane.
Yelle Dorakya, can you get him? Yelle Dorakyane.
Baranne, Yelle
Please come, Baranne.
Yelle Baranne. Yelle dorakyane baranne, yelle baranne. Pundalika na bhaktige banda, Rakhumadevi varavittalune. Pundalika na bhaktige banda, Rakhumadevi varavittalune. Ani kele.
So this is one Abhang written, Kannada Abhang written by Santa Jnanadev. So this is also very interesting, and when I said to some Marathi people, they were really enamored of this, and they have collected this information, and they went to Usmania University, got it. It is in page 99 that it is written there, and it is available. It's one of the very interesting songs. Purandara Dasa and Annamaya have also met each other, as his grandson Chinnaya says, that they met each other in Tirupati, and Purandara Vithalane bandh hagaitu. Annamaya said, we have seen Purandara Vithala when he saw Purandara Dasa. And Purandara Dasa says, Srinivasane bandh hagaitu, as if Srinivasa has come by looking into Annamaya. So they greeted each other with these adjectives by each other. And there are so many songs of parallel each other. Dva Suparanaya Sayuja Sakhaya. We have seen in Purandara Dasa's Yaradu Vandagadu. And it is also there in Annamaya. Nindina yi jivula nive yana veratunu dandana baddhulu dva suparna unnadigana is Annamaya's composition. Is a parallel to that. Similarly, there are so many songs which we are singing that it is Purandara Dasa's, but it is also sung as Annamaya song. For example, Sharanu Sharanu Surendra Sannuta Shri Sati Vallabha. It is by Purandara Dasa, and Annamaya's, that is Annamaya. Sharanu Surendra Vandita Sharanu Shripati Sevita Sharanu Parvati Tanaya Murti Sharanu Siddhi Vinayaka is Purandara Dasa's. It's also, as a parallel, it's available. The Todaya Mangalam Narayanate Gota.
Narayanate Namo Namo.
This is, we do not know whether it is written by Purandara Dasa or Annamaya. Both are available. Even in copper scripts, it's said that it's available in copper scripts of Annamaya. So, B. Rajnikant Rao, another researcher, has told that Bhadrachala Ramadasa's composition could also be this. So, that's like that. So, how Purandara Dasa came to the Tamil musicians is also very much interesting. Udupi Ramarao was one of the very important persons in Madras. He was the key persons. He was the councillor and also MLC. And he was a doctor, and one Narasimha Dasa was coming to his house to sing bhajanas. Madras Lalitangi was his patient, and she used to listen to this song and learned that some 150 songs were learned from Narasimha Dasa, and she notated it and taught her daughter M.L. Vasantakumari ji. So Vasantakumari understood the scripts of Purandara Dasa authentically from Narasimha Dasa, and she started printing it with the Kasturi and Sons, with the Hindu people, and so many people who donated so much money for the printing of this book. It came out as a book, Purandara Kriti Mani Malai, and she also published it as her PhD thesis. Today, we have the Purandara Dasas, very much popularized by Dr. M.L. Vasantakumari from this origin, through this origin. We are really indebted to that great work, and it was perhaps she who opened our eyes of Kannadigas that this could be done with still more masterly handling of those kritis. So Purandara Dasa's kritis are very much popularized by MLV Amma, and we are really indebted to her. Dr. M. Balamurali Krishna has sung not less than 1,000 songs, tuned by E. Hanumanta Rao and so many other musicians, and he himself has composed. Vidya Bhushana Tirtha Swamiji of our place, he has popularized, he is called Dasa. He has popularized Dasa songs to every house in the coastal Karnataka or Karnataka. And Vidya Bhushana is the most sought after singer for Dasarapadas. Dasarapadas to enter into the classical platform was slightly difficult. T.K. Govindarao ji did it, and with mighty attempts, he made many Dasarapadas to come onto the stage. Needless to say that credit should also be given to Ramurthy Rao ji, who has tuned not less than 120 or 100 Dasarapadas alone. He has tuned many other Abhangs and others also, only Dasarapadas. And along with him, your small man here, Aravinda Hebbar, also has tuned some 120 songs, tuned to some ragas of both Carnatic and Hindustani genre. So we may just remember that to the posterity, these are available in the YouTube, and the posterity can just use these things to remember that there was one Purandara Dasa, and he composed so many songs. Out of that, at least, just not merely Adisidale Shoda, Baro Krishnaya, or Dasarendare Purandara, only those Krishnani Begane Baro. Instead of all those, if one comes to Udupi, it becomes a headache for us now that we have to listen compulsorily this song by every musician who comes. Perhaps they have not understood that there are so many songs of Purandara Dasa, and since it is not popularized, they do not sing. Adisidale Soda. From Mahesh Kale to some small child, everyone sings there. We too are thinking now to ban that. Not that the song is bad, but Krishna is slightly taking it very allergic now, that everyone is singing that. So we have to excavate so many songs which are available now. All are based on Bhakti. Bhakti was, Hari Bhakti was preached by all the singers. I told you from the beginning, it was on Bhakti that this was laid down. Now we have no right to digress. We have no right. If we are singing for singing, we cannot go out from Bhakti stream. Perhaps seeing at the Tawaifs, their miseries, distresses in the north, Dasas would have taken this stand firmly that we people should not have the suffering like them. They were just pleasing the zamindars or the kings and doing whatever that they wanted. So they had the miseries. Gohar John is one such. She had a miserable life. Kishori Amonkar's mother and her lineage, miserable life. Our Devadasis were 100 times better than them because they were on Bhakti that they were doing that. Though there were some digresses. The Europeans came and just said that they were prostitutes, and we people believed it, and Devadasis were made into prostitutes, and the entire scene got completely changed after that. So, but Bhakti was very, very important. If at all we sing, let it be surrendered to Him and sung. And without that, we should not do that. Otherwise, we may have to see the miseries. Even I have noted some Bhagavad Gita or Ramana Maharshis or other very important people's scriptures where they say, without surrendering to me, you cannot do anything. So in our Bharatiya Sanatana Sampradaya, even if we are seeing at the nude picture of architecture, Khajuraho, we are surrendering to Him, and we do not see unnecessary comments on that. Kama Sutra is also surrender to God. We have that conviction, and we are ready to surrender every work of us at His feet. When all our ancestors have done that, all of a sudden, if we are just digressing our entire thought process to other than Bhakti, we seniors have to think very loud on this, and we have to set it right. If there is any digress, if they are going out of the stream, we have the right, everyone has the right to make it that all whom I have referred to in this lecture, they have infused Bhakti to our Sanmarga, to reach the salvation. If that is certain, if there is no if, it is certain, and we have to follow it. I am saluting to all those who have patiently listening to my 2.5 hours lecture. Thanks to Arunaji and R.R. Sabha who have given me an opportunity to talk about this dasa. I have come from a land of Parashurama Srishti. So, where Purandara Dasa had come to Udupi and sang in front of Krishna along with Kanakadasa and Vadiraja and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They all got together in Udupi. So I am also there. I am proud to say that you all come to Udupi and enjoy that. Namaskaram to all. Namaste to all.